Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a video about what's going on with SNAP. I just saw an article that shows that a judge orders the Trump administration to use emergency funds for food assistance. I'm not sure if that's going to go through or not. It's not really what I want to talk about. There are many benefactors to the SNAP, i.e. welfare program that we have in this country, but I would say that about 75% of people that are on these types of entitlements, I think I call it a benefit, it's not, it's an entitlement. I would say that about 75% of people that are on these entitlements do not need it and they're just taking advantage of the system. However, let me get off my soapbox, I digress. Who's the other big benefactor in the SNAP program / EBT? How food industry lobbyists keep the food stamp gravy train going. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about money. They don't care about you, all they care about is the bottom line. Lobbyists and activists who favor the food stamp program have been working furiously to make sure that the program is not interrupted. Why would that be? I'll just give you one number that I've looked at. I could have gone deeper, but go ahead and research it for yourself. I do believe that it is Walmart that receives about 25% of all of the SNAP dollars that go into the system. So if we take $9 billion per month that goes into the SNAP program, that means that every month Walmart is receiving roughly $2.6, $2.7 billion. And then when you multiply that times 12, ladies and gentlemen, that's around $30 billion a year that Walmart is taking in off of tax dollars that go toward people that are on these entitlements. And like I said, if you trim it down to those that really need it, not those that you see go out and, buy the prime rib and the prime ribeye steaks and lobster and stuff like that. Not those, but the people that really need it. People that maybe have disabilities, that need a hand up instead of a hand out. There's plenty of people in the United States of America, I am certain, that have used EBT before, but they've gotten out of it. Why? Because they used the program for what it was intended to be used for. While the media narrative has focused on low-income recipients, it often ignores the role of corporate and industry lobbyists who work to increase food stamp spending and ensure the program remains permanent. Why do they want it to remain permanent? Because the amount of money that they spend lobbying that these programs stay open is a drop in the bucket as to how much money is actually generated for the corporations. Farmers, big ag, grocery retailers, beverage companies, and other industry players are very active in lobbying members of Congress to ensure that food stamp dollars keep flowing. And when they say farmers here, I'm pretty sure that they're talking about the mega farmers, the big farming corporations, not the mom and pop farm that's fighting just to stay alive. And I know many people are not going to want to hear this, but food stamps are subsidies and they do push up prices. Why is that? Because whenever a subsidy is introduced to something, it always gets used more. Because free is better, right? So you're going to get as much of that free as you can. Do this experiment in your office if you're at work. Grab a jar, fill it up with candies, and put free, please take one. Those candies will be gone pretty quickly. But then go ahead and grab that same jar, fill it up with the same candies, same amount, and then put 25 cents each. Which one of those do you think is going to be used up quicker? The one where you said is free, that you are subsidizing with your dollars, or the ones that you're charging for? To understand why private industry groups are such big fans of food stamps, it's important to recognize how SNAP spending is a wealth transfer from non-SNAP recipients to both SNAP users and industry groups. And like I was saying, Have you seen the videos where you see people kind of like abusing the SNAP system, where they go out and they buy nothing but junk food and they buy the most expensive of the meats that people that are paying into the system, right? The people that the wealth is being transferred from can't even afford themselves. Now listen to this. Evidence shows that SNAP recipients do not treat SNAP funds as fungible with money in general, and the funds are thus part of a separate mental account, meaning that they don't see it as something that's important enough that they have to budget with. They just see it as something that's coming to them and they're going to get whatever they want with it, all right? Consequently, SNAP spending constitutes extra spending above and beyond what would have been spent on food without the subsidy. Same thing I just said. When you're given something for free, you're going to use more of it as long as it's still free. When there's no accountability as to how you use that subsidy, you're going to abuse it and mistreat it as much as you can until it is stopped. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that everyone does this. I'm sure that there's plenty of people on SNAP. There's plenty of people on Section 8 that are doing their best, that need a hand up, and they're not just looking for a handout. However, there's evidence that there's plenty of people, and I would say that it's well over half, well over 50% of people that are abusing the system, that they need to go out there and get a job and stick with that job and pursue the American dream, instead of just getting by every month and then panicking when something like this happens and the government can no longer fund it. But I'll leave you with this. I'll ask you again. Now that you're seeing what's going on with the SNAP thing and with the furloughed employees, what are you doing to prepare in case something that you depend on is no longer there? Having said that, I hope you've all had a great week this week. I guess I could say happy Halloween, even though I don't really celebrate Halloween, but maybe some of you do. Go out there and get dressed up and beg for some candy. That's pretty much how I see Halloween. I hope you have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure or not if I'm going to put out a video this weekend. I'm still trying to figure out if I can even do a live stream from here. The internet here is really not great. But other than that, I want to say thank you again for joining in. God bless every one of you. I love you all. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched this video up here, either there or there, go watch it and make sure that you enter to win one of these Q3 reverse osmosis water filtration systems from SIMPURE. SIMPURE is giving me several units to give away, but you have to go watch that video and enter to win. It doesn't cost you a penny, and as long as you live within the United States, you are eligible to be shipped one directly by SIMPURE if you're one of the winners. Everyone needs clean water. You can't trust your utility. No, this is not sponsored. I'm not being paid to do this. I'm doing this because I want to make sure that everyone that can has clean water to consume in their home. This is going to be open all the way through the 5th of November, and then I'll announce the winners maybe a week or so afterward. Another great company that's having a giveaway. OUPES has just come out with the Guardian 6000. It is an awesome solar generator that comes with 240 volt capability, something that a lot of people have been asking for over the years, especially those of you that get your water via a well. This will be able to power a 240 volt well. And you can also enter to win by clicking on the link, going to their site, putting in your email and subscribe, and you'll be entered to win one of the Guardian 6000s when they launch on the 25th of November, I do believe. But what's cool about this is that even if you're not in the market, ladies and gentlemen, put in your email, enter to win. But the more people that subscribe, the lower that the price goes when it launches. So right now we're at 1,630 people that have subscribed. If we bring it all the way up to 5,000, the price goes all the way down from like $2,300 to $1,700. So not only are you entering to win one of these, and good luck to you if you do enter, but you're helping to bring the price down to the lowest price possible at the date of launch.